You don't stand up for yourself in the moment. You replay it later. In the shower, on the drive home, 3 days afterward when you're trying to fall asleep. You rewrite the conversation. You say what you should have said. You win arguments that are already over. But in real time, you smile, you let it slide, you say it's fine. You do this with everyone. The coworker who takes credit for your idea. The friend who cancels last minute again. The partner who makes a comment that sits wrong in your chest for hours. You don't say anything. You tell yourself it's not worth it. That you're being mature. That you're choosing peace. You're not choosing peace. You're choosing silence because confrontation feels like violence. You say yes when you mean no. You agree to plans you don't want. You offer help you don't have energy for. And then you're angry. At them for asking. At yourself for saying yes. But mostly at the fact that no one seems to notice how much you're doing. When someone asks what's wrong, you say nothing. Even when your jaw is tight and your throat is closed, and you've been staring at the same spot on the wall for 5 minutes. You don't ask people to meet you halfway. You go the whole distance and then resent them for not offering. This didn't start recently. You learned early that anger wasn't safe. Maybe not because someone punished you for it. Maybe because when you got upset, no one knew what to do with you. So you learned to manage it internally. To be the easy one. To not make things harder than they already were. Your nervous system decided emotional expression equals danger. So you swallowed it and it worked. You didn't get yelled at. You didn't get abandoned. You stayed safe. But here's what happened next. People stop considering you. Not because they're selfish. Because you've never drawn a line, so they step over it without knowing. And you stay silent. You've become someone people feel comfortable disappointing. They cancel on you because they know you'll understand. They unload on you because you always listen. They take what you offer because you've never stopped offering. And you tell yourself this means you're kind. But kindness doesn't come with a scorecard you're keeping in secret. What you're doing isn't kindness. It's a ritual. At some point, this stopped being about how other people treat you. You're not avoiding conflict. You're preemptively erasing yourself so no one else has to make that choice. You're doing the rejecting for them. And you know you're doing it. You can feel it happening. That moment when you're about to say something and then you watch yourself not say it. You feel your throat tighten. You feel yourself smile when nothing's funny. You're aware you're just not stopping. Because stopping would mean admitting how long this has been going on. How many years you've spent making yourself digestible. And facing that feels worse than just continuing. You've been waiting for someone to notice. To see through the performance. To ask if you're okay and refuse to accept fine as an answer. But they won't. Because you've made it your life's work to make sure they never have to. The people around you aren't ignoring you because they're cruel. They're ignoring you because you taught them to. Every time you said you were fine when you weren't. Every time you laughed off something that hurt. You built this. People don't respect you less because you're too nice. They respect you less because there's no actual you to respect. Just a shape that bends. A voice that softens. You're not afraid of being hurt. You're afraid of being seen having a reaction. So you manage it before anyone notices. You smooth it over. You make their comfort more important than your reality. And then you resent them for not seeing what you worked so hard to hide. Here's what you haven't let yourself think yet. This isn't protection anymore. You're not a child managing an unstable environment. You're an adult choosing invisibility because visibility feels like exposure. You're choosing this. Right now, in every interaction. Every time your jaw tightens and you swallow the words back. Every time someone takes more than they give, and you tell yourself it's fine. That's not a trauma response anymore. That's a choice you're making, over and over. And the part that sits the worst. You know what respect looks like. You've seen it given to other people. People who ask for things, people who say no. People who let others be uncomfortable without rushing to fix it. You've watched them get chosen. And you've told yourself it's because they're different, because they're bolder, or more confident, or less damaged. But it's simpler than that. They're visible. They let people see them. The inconvenient parts, the parts that require effort. And you don't. You've made yourself so easy to overlook that people do it without thinking. and then you resent them for it. As if they're supposed to see through a disguise you perfected. Something in your chest is tight right now. That's the feeling. That's the moment. You're managing your reaction to this. Deciding if it's fair. Deciding if you're allowed to feel what you're feeling. You're doing it again. The child who learned to swallow it is the adult who still does. Same feeling. Same choice. Just older. Your throat just tightened, and you're about to let it pass.